Hey, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back to Breakfast with Bobby. And Bobby and I have our friend Glenn here. So buckle up and wait for some shenanigans. How y'all doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just really excited to have Glenn back. My gosh, for us, it's been a year. I know that you guys work together a lot, but it's been a year since you've been here, Glenn. And
Yeah.
it's just so nice to see your smiling, pretty little face. So,
Oh, you're
Agreed.
too kind. Thank you for putting up with me once again. It's a
well,
pleasure to be asked to come on again. And I
you're just so darn
can't
funny.
believe
We
it's
just
been a year.
Yeah,
Has it
we've
really been a year? Wow.
yes, I believe it had. Well, we've done over 30 some shows, and
Yeah,
Glenn was
right at the
you were one of
beginning. Yeah,
yeah,
he was
you were
one of
one
the
of our.
first ones.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing us a favor, making sure you can get your pretty face on the camera.
Yeah.
Pretty face.
And
So,
in 2 months,
I'm
Glenn's going
sat
to
on
have
my
one of
best
these.
face. Oh
Stop it.
yeah, a mug. A mug for my mug.
A mug for
that's
your
Thank you.
right.
mug. Yes. And I will be the judge as to whether or not you're sat on your best face. I'll let you know.
Oh,
Oh
Since
dear.
you put it out there.
so so tell me more about your paranormal stuff. You've been quite active. What's going on? I need to know more.
Okay, yeah. Well, since I last saw you, I got invited to go along to a paranormal event with the understanding that if I liked the event, I could be part of the team that run these paranormal events. And so I went along, and it went really well. And then I got the invitation. Would you like to be a full-time member? So, yeah, I'd love to. Thank you very much. And so, since then, I've been to quite a few locations, public events where guests come along and we host it, and we make sure that we're showing them and introducing them to spirit in that location using a variety of natural gifts and abilities, and using mediumship, using the old school mediumship tools such as dowsing, pendulums, and things of that nature. And then they also use the ITC equipment, such as is it the Alice box and other ghost busting devices that we use again to demonstrate that there is life here after. Oh, and as if by magic, a pendulum appeared.
How about that,
Fantastic.
huh?
And it's
Oh,
saying yes, it's in
It's saying
agreement.
yes. Yes, it's in agreement.
hmm.
So yeah, so I feel very blessed to be invited with that. And yeah, it's a lovely team, some beautiful people that are involved. And yeah, it's nice to be in that environment. Although it can be very tiring. I was just saying off air that yesterday I was nursing a paranormal hangover, and for anybody that doesn't know what one of those is, basically it's where your sensitivity has been heightened to such a level, and you've been bombarded with energies, feelings, information, seeing, hearing, spirit for a allotted period of time that obviously these events finish in the early hours of the morning. You drive home and you feel like you've been railroaded. Honestly, the next day you can't string two words together, and you just like, "Here's my dinner." You just
Pretty much.
really struggling.
Yep, exactly.
But
You
yeah,
described
so
that so perfectly. Yes. I was like that all day yesterday.
but it
So do you
bless you. The
have
thing is, we do it again. You know, our fifth
Yeah,
away, we do it again and again.
we do.
so do you ever have tag-alongs? Do you ever have the energies bombard you when you're home after that?
Not really. Touch wood, if I can find any. Because I put protection up before I go to the events. I ask with intention, and before leaving the venue, I make sure that I am clear. I do a quick scan of the energy, and then call in Archangel Michael, the Band of Mercy, to come and assist and cleanse. Um, but you know, it has been known to happen if you don't do that. But I'm quite
Mhm.
fortunate that I set those boundaries in place.
Mm,
Yeah.
very cool.
Yep. I was at a paranormal event. It was also a cryptid event and it was a convention. So it was a like a ballroom full of vendors, some psychics, some vendors, every manner of Bigfoot you can possibly imagine. I came home with a sticker that says, "Don't be an Asquatch."
There's a theme with our conversations tonight,
Yes,
isn't there,
there
already?
is. um, but yeah, I mean, it's like even with an event like that, because it's not a paranormal investigation, but there's plenty of energy floating around that room, and some people playing some silly energy games. So, had to do some cleansing from that. And then drove home 8 hours in the rain. So that was fun. On and
Ooh.
off rain.
Oh, that's
On and
good.
off rain. Yeah. But I agree. Like yesterday, I was useless. My husband would ask me a question. I'd just sit there and blink. Like,
So how
One
long
for
does it
yes,
take you?
two for no.
one for yes, two for no.
Right. How long does it take you to get over that?
I feel like I'm pretty much over it
Uh,
now.
yeah, I would say a day after the event of complete
Mm.
rest and just listening to your body, getting the sleep.
Hydrate.
Um, yeah, plenty of water. You may have to go to the bathroom more often than not, just
Yeah.
saying, just putting it out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Because you're
but
you're
yeah, usually
cleansing
a
out
day.
whatever energies might have come along.
Hmm,
So yeah.
that's pretty interesting. So what's your next stint? Tell me where you're going.
The next one, we're going to Shepton Mallet Prison, which is near Glastonbury in England. We've done that a few times. We did it a couple of times or three times last year, and it's a great venue. Obviously, it used to be a prison, which has been obviously discontinued, but now it's used for events such as the paranormal events. It's
Mm,
also a museum as such in the day. And also, a lot of film and TV companies use it for their sets. And I know that when we was there last time, there was one particular TV show that was using that, and they'd kind of dressed up the venue like it was from the late 1800s, I believe. It was going right back in time, and they did a convincing job. It was weird. It was
mm.
weird how they transformed it, but yeah, it's a great venue. And they used to hold people there for all manner of crimes. And they used to, I believe, have one of those, it's like a punishment, like a hamster wheel type of thing, where the prisoners would walk so many hours a day around this hamster wheel for no other reason, not generating energy, power, or anything like that. Just the fact that they had to do that. And, they weren't fed very much food. And so with that exercise as well, a lot of them were wasting away there.
Wow.
But very cruel. Some of them died from doing that, from doing that continual exercise as well.
Oh my gosh.
Lots of energy there, yeah, and also the prison itself. I mean, they have a hanging room as well, and it was used up until I believe was it the 1960s? I think it was something like that. Um, so you've got a hanging room. Next to that, you have the executioner's overnight room, where he would stay to make sure the rope hadn't been tampered with. He would do all the calculations for the weight of the person that was their life was going to be taken away, so the rope would be adjusted, and all of that. Uh, um, and then underneath that, you had the drop room. So obviously, when the doors would go like that, the body would drop into that room, and from that room, they would take the body to the mortuary. So when it was my first time at that venue, of course they were going to put me in the execution, the hang room, and then the drop room underneath it. And yeah, it was quite interesting. Some of the interactions that we had. So
Wow.
yeah, it's a great venue,
What a
and also
gruesome
it being near
job
to
to have, though.
Glastonbury.
Yes. How,
Oh
wow.
yeah, I mean
What a
to
gruesome job
to
ugh.
be so calculating. How tall are you? How much do you weigh? And what do you want for your last meal? Calculating how many calories that would add to the weight of the
Wow.
Oof, it's a grim job,
That's,
isn't it?
yeah.
Yuck.
So what's the craziest thing you've heard in your travels and in your, going to these prisons and stuff on the box? Do you ever hear anything really, really clear or what kind of messages or
Oh, that's going to test my memory because once I've done an event, that's it. A lot of the time, it's gone and it's like next.
oh,
Um, but
I
we
understand
did
that.
have this weekend. We had some interesting interactions where we was using the electronic equipment in a corridor with one of the guests who was blindfolded, had the ear defenders
Oh, yeah, yeah, the
on,
Estes
and
method.
then
Yeah.
yeah, and then we had an in-between person in the doorway, and we was in the other room. And in the room, we was all asking out questions, not too loud, and then we was getting the responses from the electronic devices, the Alex boxes, and then also I was using mediumship in that sitting, and also the rods as well, the divining
Oh,
rods, and it was amazing because all of those elements were all interacting on the same vibration with the same spirit individuals, and we was getting that confirmation from all of those devices, including the mediumship. So that was pretty impressive. I really enjoyed that, and there was lots of children energy there, and
cool.
also ahead of going to that event, I prepared with the intentions and meditations and things. And I asked my guides if they could bring forward some information about that location prior to us going there. And so they did. And after the meditation, I was writing all these notes down, what they were telling me. And a lot of the information that was written down, actually, I witnessed that whilst I was there. They mentioned a drummer boy. I didn't know there was a drummer boy ghost that was there. They mentioned his purpose. They drew symbols down on a piece of paper, and I saw both of those symbols there. So, to me, that was pretty incredible that Spirit brought all that information and evidence, and I got to see it in real time. So, for me, that was very interesting
That is
to have
amazing.
that interaction.
Yeah.
So are you doing any written papers or anything? Are you writing articles or anything on your studies or published or
At the moment, I'm not at the moment. I am writing my third book, which is based around my spirit adventures, if you like. And also, the book offers some tips and guidance for people that are wanting to walk down this pathway of discovering and interacting with spirit. So
Hmm.
I'm currently working on that behind the scenes, but just towards the end of last year, I was in the Haunted magazine, and I had an article about how I opened up and how my spirit life began, the
Hmm.
unfolding with the gifts there. And I shared a few examples. So that was in the Haunted magazine. I believe was it November's edition, or I think it was edition number 44. So I felt very blessed to be invited to take part in that and to write an article there. So that's happened. And the book is in work in progress, but I'm pushing to get it done before the year is out. The audio version is already available.
Oh my.
It's just the type, the text that I say it's already available. It's completed. It's not
Hmm.
available yet, but when I looked how long the audiobook is, it's about 5.5 hours. So if you're wanting a good night's sleep, then purchase it when it's available, and you will just off.
Yeah, no, you say that, but I have to tell you, I love that you put out those 1 minute things that you've taken out of other speaking things that you've done, the just the 1 minute videos that you put up like on TikTok, because I wake up to those every day
Okay.
because of our time difference. You post
Oh
it
yeah.
and then I wake up to it later. And I just it's always a nice positive message to wake up to, and I just appreciate that so much.
Thank you. Yeah, you're quite right. It was my guides that put me on to doing that. Initially, I was doing the as I always do, the lives on a Monday, and we have a topic topic to talk about that's about self-help and empowerment. And then one day, I believe it was towards the end of last year, my guides put the idea in my head. Not enough people are seeing this, and a lot of people will scroll ahead because the video length is about an hour, and a lot of people will miss a lot of the information that's being shared. So they pointed me in the direction of a particular website that helps to edit these nuggets of information down at speed using AI. And so I explored it. I did that, and from then on in, I'm inspired to post it on a daily basis. Just a minute video. It captures people's attention. The message is very to the point, and it's getting, like you say, Christina, a lot of positive feedback and interactions with it. So it just shows you listening to your guides. I mean, I would personally think, well, first thing, that's a lot of work. Why do you want me to do that for? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I trust their wisdom. They see the bigger picture. And so it's starting to pay off. Yeah. So thank you for that compliment.
Oh,
Appreciate
you're
that.
welcome. You're welcome. I see. You put them on what, like TikTok, and do those go on YouTube as well?
Yeah, across platform. And I found
Yeah.
that the YouTube views are getting higher because of it as well. And of course, you do get the odd negative Nancy putting some negative remark, trying to get some laughs. But you
Hmm.
just have to gloss over that. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, so I just leave them on there, what's
Yeah.
and all. But I found when people do that, it actually gets more views. So who's winning? Who's laughing now?
I
Yeah. Right.
suppose. Right, right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe we should do something really outlandish on here so that we get some more views.
We have to get that program and then start uploading our shows into that program so it can pick out the outlandish
Little.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the outlandish stuff always
Definitely.
happens before we get on the camera.
I
So,
know, right? We should just start recording as soon as we get on, but then I have to
right.
learn how to edit, and that's time consuming.
Yeah, ain't nobody got time for that right
Ain't
now.
nobody got time for that.
That's right. So, so I understand you guys are going to get together soon.
Yeah.
Christina's taking a trip out by you.
Yep.
What's
That's
the
right.
flight time? Do you know?
I don't know because my brain isn't that advanced with energy with math, but I am leaving Chicago at 4:42 p.m. and I will arrive in Manchester at 1 something in the afternoon, like 1:30 in the afternoon the following day. But I have from Chicago to New York, New York to London, London to Manchester. So I've got 3 flights to get there. And so that includes layovers and all of that, but I'm not sure how to even wrap my head around how many hours in the air that is.
Ah,
So, yeah.
wow.
And then I get to show up at the airport in Manchester and somebody's going to be standing there holding my name on a sign. So, because
Your
there's
Yawning
15
doing
minutes of
that.
fame.
yeah, I know. Well, my travel agent hired a car to pick me up at the airport. So I'm like, ooh, I feel fancy.
Awesome.
Yeah. I actually won't see you until like 2 days later.
Yeah, because you're going to have a wander around Manchester, I believe, aren't you?
Yeah.
Just find your feet there.
Yep. I'll have 2 days, 2 nights in Manchester, but you'll be picking me up early, like the next morning. And while I'm in Manchester, I'm doing a walking tour. So that'll be fun.
Are you
Mhm.
leading it type of thing? Are
Oh,
you,
God, no.
or
I've
is
never been
you're
there.
taking instruction?
I
Well, wandering.
it's a group walking tour. It's a small group walking tour.
Mhm.
So I will just show up at the library at the appointed time and walk around and look at some cool stuff.
And don't get lost now. Put
I
put your
got
little.
GPS on my phone.
Oh, that's good. And then, the little string on your mitten kind of thing, make sure that you're
I
tied to the teacher or something so you don't get
something.
lost.
Yeah, because I wander off. Yeah, by the way, I wander a lot.
And don't make me come over there, Christina.
Oh, like you don't want to.
I know that would be fun, wouldn't it? Oh my God.
See, I could
There's
bring a
just,
camera person along, somebody to run the camera for us.
Is that me? Oh,
Yeah.
wait, just tell me what I'm supposed to do. Okay, I'll just point and shoot. Oh,
That's the best method.
That is the best method. Yeah.
oop, there it is. Oop, there it is. Yes. Just keep going.
Keep rolling.
Yeah.
Keep it going. Yep.
And then
So
you guys are, what's on your agenda? I suspect you are going to be moving and shaking all day long.
Yes, you could put it that way. Well, initially, Christina, you've got a conference, haven't you, in the south of
on the 31st of
England?
May. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so initially, that was how it all started. Christina
Hmm.
had that book, and
Right.
she was you're going to be talking and holding space there as well, aren't you?
Yes, I will be speaking at CryptidCon UK in Bridgewater in Somerset in the south of England. So,
And
yeah.
so around that, she says, "Well, I'm going to be in the UK," and then I sort of volunteered to be chaperone, and then from being chaperone, it turned out that we're going to be filming together and visiting all of these various locations around the UK, and we're putting a TV show together, working around spirit and interacting with spirit. And the intention really is to put spirit in a more positive vibration, a positive light, that it's a very natural thing to do. So we're looking forward to traveling around and going to some cities, some famous locations, and some not so famous locations.
Yeah.
It's going to be very varied viewing. Um, yeah, so we're very excited. There's a lot of work ahead, a
Hmm.
lot of getting up really early in the morning before people start going to work so that we can film and not be discovered filming,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
then make our sharp exit and move on to the next location. But it's going to be a lot of work, and going to bed early so that we can get up early the next morning and continue the process again. And this is going to be something that I haven't done, a continued week of that regime of
I know, right?
filming, getting up, talking, connecting to spirit, at 6 in the morning when you're like, I feel like spirit myself.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But I mean, it's like to get to the locations, like we want to start filming at like 6 a.m. But
Mm.
it can be a 2-hour drive to get to the next location. So we might be, we're planning on being like starting out at 4 a.m., which I don't know if you've thought this all the way through. The first time you actually see me in person, it's going to be like 4 a.m. I might not even be awake. I'll be like stumbling out to the van with my eyes closed.
I'll
I'm,
get
I'm,
the hotel staff to wheel you out.
There you go. Put me on a dolly and wheel me out. Luggage rack.
and don't forget the coffee.
Yeah.
Without the mushrooms.
Without
Yeah,
the
I was gonna, yeah,
mushrooms.
no
Yeah.
mushroom coffee. Don't give me any fake stuff.
I'm sure if I did it right, it would taste fine, but I didn't do it right. And it's chai
I
flavored. So who knows? But
don't know.
yeah.
I have 3 bags of that stuff, and honestly, none of it really tastes right, and I don't know what to do with it. And so don't get your
to,
hopes up. I think you can just add it
to
to
me,
another
what you've
cup of
just said there,
coffee.
Bobby, is it sounds like it's perfect fertilizer for the roses.
Oh,
It
then it'll turn the vase black and all this
it
kind
would
of,
flourish.
well,
But black
maybe.
roses are pretty cool. I mean, I'm just saying.
I was just thinking, yeah, that might be kind of a cool photograph. Black
Yeah.
stuff in your roses, whatever. And then you can write a book on it. Black stuff in the roses.
Black stuff in the roses. There
Oh,
we
that
go.
sounds like a murder mystery right there.
It
Ooh.
does. It does. All right. Who's going to jump on that one? Bobby,
Um,
you.
what?
Nominate you. Nominate. That's the word I was looking for.
Now you're nominated.
Nominate
You're
you.
still hungover. I see it.
I
I
think you're
see it.
right. I thought I felt pretty good today, but yeah, I might still be hungover. Yeah.
Look at our eyes rolling. The power of Christ compels thee.
Well, it is Easter and all, so you're getting right up there. Come out with your palms, light
Oh
that
my
on
gosh.
fire for your little torch.
There you go.
Be careful not to light the drapes. That would be bad.
That would be really bad. Yeah, that'd be really, really bad. Yeah.
Don't light the house up.
No, no, we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
No,
Oh
because
my
my house is
gosh.
connected to a lot of other houses. So,
Hmm. That's
yeah.
not a good thing.
So there you go.
Wow.
Wow. So what is the last 2 weeks you've been on these investigations? What is the most memorable thing about either investigation?
Oh, okay. So the most memorable thing was we was in Westbury a couple of weekends away, which is near a place called Bath in the United Kingdom. And this Westbury was actually an old Victorian swimming baths and a bathhouse that's still in use today. And yeah, anyway, it's a lovely building, um, and it is very active. Um, and I wasn't anticipating this whatsoever because I put my protection up, run through the procedures. And on the first part of the investigation, I'm connecting in with Spirit, relaying back to the people that are in attendance, the guests, and we locate a portal in this first location. And I'm talking them through the process of the portal. I'm encouraging them to step in it so they can feel the difference between what a portal feels like.
Hmm.
And I step in it, and the next minute I felt like my essence was being taken out of me. And the next minute I was taken over by a spirit and started channeling in front of a group of guests. I had no intention. That's something I don't do on investigations, but on this occasion, um, it must have been safe. Otherwise, my guides wouldn't have allowed it to occur for a start.
Right.
But I can't remember what was said, but all I remember is coming out of it, and a lot of people were like that. And they were asking questions to this spirit being, and they were amazed by some of the information that it was bringing forward. Um, that's about all I remember, but that's never happened to me before on an investigation because I set those
Those
specific
boundaries.
boundaries.
Yeah.
So it's something I'll never forget because of that. But coming out of it, I was like, where am I, sort of thing, and I was still stood up.
Hmm.
I did all this standing up. So that amazed me that my legs didn't buckle and end up a mess on the floor. But I was really grateful for one of the team members coming in and asking questions, and then sort of tapping me out of that procedure there.
Hmm.
Wow.
But yeah, it was interesting, and apparently, from what was said, it was one of the spirits that's actually grounded in that location that had a tendency to, shall we say, had voyeuristic tendencies because it was in a ladies' changing area. And he was a very lonely individual, and he just liked the female form. It wasn't creepy or anything like that. It was just that was his thing. He liked to do it. He didn't touch anybody or anything like that. And he explained apparently his background, why he got to do that, and why he is still there.
Hmm.
So it was interesting, but the voice changed apparently, mannerisms, my face changed, and so quite an eventful experience. Luckily enough, I came out of that, had some food, and carried on with the investigation, and it ran smoothly. A lot of the staff members were seeing shadow beings at the top of the upstairs corridor, walking by doors. And I saw an old army general with my physical eyes walking up the corridor and pacing up and down very briefly there. So it was memorable for that reason because I've never ever
So
allowed
he-
that before, and it just sort of happened.
Wow.
so here I thought, being in a ladies' bathhouse, you'd be seeing all kinds of ladies, naked ladies running around, but that was quite an eventful thing for you.
I can but dream. Yes.
Right. Exactly. I suppose you were excited
It
about
took a long
that
one.
too. Ooh, goody.
Yeah, the Benny Hill came out. No,
Oh
apparently he'd
my
been there
gosh.
for quite some time, this spirit, and it had been noted apparently that people had noticed this shadow being in that area. They felt like uncomfortable whilst they were getting bathed and changed. You know, that feeling you get like, oh, I'm sure there's somebody behind
Yeah.
Hmm.
me. Nobody's there. A lot of
Yeah.
the ladies have experienced that. So, yeah, it was a very interesting place. But another part of that investigation, a bit later on in the evening, we went to the male changing area as well, and we did a similar calling out process. We was using the dowsing rods on this occasion and mediumship, and we were doing some calling out. And the next minute, one of the ladies in the room, her late father came through, and he clarified that with obviously coming through the mediumship and then obviously using the dowsing rods to confirm that it was him and bringing forward um, evidential information. So, you know, as proof that it is him. And bless him, his daughter, I would say, was, you know, I don't know, probably like in her 60s. And so it really made her evening, and she really appreciated it, and it lifted her energy. But again, I wasn't expecting that, you know, because we were linking in with the building, and then her father comes in. So that was something very memorable and special. So there's never a dull moment, as I'm sure Christina will say as
Never.
well with your events.
Yeah, there's never a dull moment. I was just wondering though, when you were telling us about that, was that a place that her father frequented
Mhm.
when he was alive?
No, I
Okay.
don't think so. No,
I was
not
just
at all.
curious.
I think,
Mm.
yeah, I think the energy because we was working with such respect and was calling out nicely and
Mhm.
doing sensory deprivation experiments with the blindfolds as well. The people, two people there, they weren't mediums at all. Just by doing that, they were picking up visions and emotions and sensations connected to a late father, which
Mhm.
was also great evidence. And we was actually positioned all sat in a circle, which again would amplify the intentions and the
Mhm.
energy there. So it was beautiful. It was a nice piece of work that was.
That's
Well, that's
awesome.
pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a different sort of question, but uh, there are
Okay.
people that know how to, open up the portal kind of thing and then walk the spirits home. Do you do any of that?
Soul
Yeah.
rescue work, yes,
Mhm.
I do when it's required. Although, as I'm sure Christina will say, there is a bit of a grey area because some of these locations, that is their line of work, that is their business. You're
Yeah.
there, you're
Mhm.
invited to their property. So without their permission, it's not your. It's you can't do that. You can't do that. It's just etiquette, politeness. But if it's say it's somebody's home or a workplace, and they've got you there under that sort of reason of being there to help do a house cleanse, do a soul rescue, then of course I would do that. And I've done that on many occasions. And a lot of the time, a lot of these portals and vortexes and these energies that come in are through people that use the spirit boards and are having a laugh, having a joke, and they don't know, they haven't opened it up correctly and they don't close it down. And so they've just opened a doorway to another dimension. And then they're having all of this unnecessary activity in their home there. So a lot of the cases I've worked on have been because of that, or the previous occupants of that building that have done it. And it's quite yeah, can see and witness some very interesting things in those soul rescue sessions. But yeah, I've done quite a lot of soul rescue, and each case is different. And I would say, probably like yourself, Christina, you have to build up a rapport, a relationship with that spirit. You have to get to know them,
Right.
build
And you have to
that
get
sort
them to
of bond of
trust you.
trust up.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's what I was just going to,
Yeah,
that's what I was
yeah,
just saying. You have to get them to
and you
trust you. Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah.
And you don't have long to do that in most
No.
cases. So you've got to be pretty direct, respectful, and also have a connection with the angelic realm in order to facilitate that soul rescue healing. When
Mm.
it does happen, it happens really quickly.
Yeah.
So it's
Definitely.
never a dull moment. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just want to add, spirit boards is not the only way those doors get opened. There are a lot of ways those doors get opened,
What's
and
a
Mhm.
spirit board?
it's a Ouija board.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Which I personally don't have a problem with if you know how to protect the space and you know how to set the energy. I personally don't have a problem with it, but a lot of people don't. And my biggest problem with spirit boards is that they sell them in toy stores. So, they're not toys. They shouldn't be sold in toy stores.
Yeah.
That's my biggest issue with it. But I have seen where people, they try to do seances or they'll intentionally summon spirits because they want to talk to a spirit, but then they don't help that spirit get back to where they came from. Or, people who just don't know what they're doing, basically, regardless of the tools that they
Yeah.
use, are the
Yeah.
ones who open that door and then don't help people go back through it. So, yeah, but there's more than one way to do it for sure.
You guys are
Definitely.
such a wealth of knowledge. I'm just excited just to talk to both of you together. I never get that chance.
Bless you.
So I'm mesmerized here. So if you want to talk about something, I'm all ears.
Mm.
Hmm. What you got, Glenn?
Oh, throw me under the bus, why don't you?
Well,
Uh,
I'm just returning the favor
Um,
because you do that to me a lot.
you're welcome. What can we talk about next? Right. So, what about protection? I think this is something that's not spoken about a lot,
Yeah,
and anybody can do it. You don't have to be particularly psychically gifted or anything like that. Basically, what you're doing is you're guarding and shielding and setting boundaries with your energy, your intention, where your energy is going to go and what's going to come in. And so, protection, I would recommend everybody. And I don't say use protection because to put everybody in a fear state of mind.
right.
Just want to let people know that everything is energy, everything is vibrating at different vibrations. And it's so easy for you to walk out of your front door being happy and jolly. And because you're fully open, the next thing you might have a psychic attack where something or somebody else's thought, energy, or emotions will latch onto your vibration to pull you down. Because, as we know, happiness is infectious. Once we start laughing, somebody else will start laughing, and it spreads and it heightens the vibration of community. Now, with doing that, with heightening that vibration, it's giving less of an opportunity for some of these lower based frequencies and entities to stay in this dimension. So they're going to try their best to hold your frequency down so that they can survive and exist in this dimension. So this is why I would certainly suggest protection is very important for everybody because of that.
Yeah.
So would you walk
Would
us through
you
how you go
like to
through
add
your
to that,
protection?
Christine? I
Yeah,
can do,
yeah.
yeah, if
You
you
go ahead.
wish.
Go ahead and walk us through yours, and then I'll go when you're finished. Just go ahead.
Okay, so I always say to my students that protection, if you bear this in mind, make it part of your daily ritual, like we get up, we have a shower, we clean our teeth. Whilst you're doing your ablutions there, you can set your intentions and do your protection while, in your mind. And basically, what I do is, first of all, I ask for the angelics, the Archangel Michael and Band of Mercy, to place me in a colored ball of light. Now, as you know, our frequency, our energy changes each and every day. So I'll trust my intuition of what color I need to ask for to be placed in the bubble of, if that makes sense. Once I've done that, I then ask to be placed inside a mirror ball of protective light. And I imagine in my mind's eye one of the old fashioned 70s disco balls with the mirrors on. I imagine myself inside of one of those. Therefore, anything that is beamed at you in a negative vibration intention, that is reflected back to the sender, so to speak. And then what I also do is I ask to be placed inside an energetic conker shell. So the conkers from the trees, the shells, they've got those spikes on, haven't they, to protect them from damaging when they fall to the ground. So I asked to be placed in one of those. And what this does, this is brilliant for anybody that's going out in a city or town or where there's a large amount of people. You ask with intention to be placed in one of those. But I also ask with the caveat of, even though you've got all this protection around you, I would like to vibrate the vibration of love, light, peace, truth, harmony, healing, wisdom, and evidential information. And what this does, it allows you to be yourself, to interact in the world, so you're not cut off and shut off from the world entirely. It just stops any lower energies or anybody zapping you or um, siphoning your vibration away from you. As I was saying, when you go off into public spaces where there's lots of people, and you use the conker shell technique with the spikes on, what you'll notice is around you, about 3 feet around your physical body, when people are walking towards you, naturally they'll walk away from you as if you've got really bad body odor. And they'll avoid you and they'll move out your way and they'll walk that way and that way. And if anybody does happen to walk into your sacred space, 3 feet around your physical body, then most of them won't last very long in that vibration. They'll either make their excuses or leave, or they'll feel uncomfortable, or you yourself will feel their vibration and move away from them. So it's a great technique that I use. One other thing that I have had to add to my arsenal, so to speak, once I've done all that, I found that a few years ago, I was visiting my mum when she was in hospital. And you can imagine the energy of a hospital, all those emotions, those thought vibrations, the pain and disease and all of that. That was still making a way towards me and going through all of that protection. So I then was encouraged to ask to be placed inside of a titanium ball of light around all of those other elements. And I had to walk in that hospital with my headphones on, listening to my favorite music to keep my vibrations up, whilst I went into the corridor and the room where my mum was. And that kept me safe and protected. But it was, wow, it was intense. It was an intense situation. So that is my preferred methods.
Yeah.
So then, what about at night? You renew and refresh your energy every morning, and then you refresh it throughout the day at all, or just the one time a day? And what do you do at night? Anything?
Okay. I would say in the day, if I notice that my energy is flagging, naturally I crave sweet fruits, my chocolate monster.
Oh,
But no, I use frequency sound, and again, this is something I teach my students. And this is just to hum a note. And again, we change every second of every day. So what was right for us yesterday, we may hum a different note today. And so what I would do is take a deep breath, make sure nobody's now around me that can spot me doing this, if possible. And I just go, mm, and I hold that note for as long as my lungs can sustain me doing that. And what this does, it just shifts your energy. You'll feel your body tingling, you'll feel lighter, and it will give you that boost of energy. And I say this to people, if you're having a bad day at work and you're feeling like you're flagging, it's not even 12 noon, it's not even dinner time yet, you're finding yourself flagging, take yourself off to the bathroom, go and do this technique, 2-3 minutes at the most, and I guarantee you'll come out of that bathroom, you'll have a different vibe about you, you'll feel refreshed, you'll be full of inspiration and ideas, and it's a great way of topping up your vibes. But to answer your question, at the end of the day, I do this when I go to bed. I'll make a point of sort of rounding the day off by celebrating the day and showing that gratitude. And I say prayers of gratitude, of intention. I send out healing thoughts and vibrations to those I know that need it. And I also show gratitude for my life and the facets within my life. And I thank my team, my spirit team as well. And I show that level of appreciation to them. And so that's how I live each and every day. And it can be a bit of can take up a lot of your time and energy in doing those things, a lot of intention more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get into the routine, it feels as natural as cleaning your teeth or combing your hair, if you've got hair. But yeah, so that's what I do.
I
Well,
don't
I would
know.
imagine
Yeah.
that since you are so accustomed to doing that, when you don't do it, you feel like perhaps you forgot your watch. You feel kind of empty and something is amiss. Your energy is just malaligned.
Yes,
Hmm.
definitely. You can feel either like you need to ground your energy more, bring yourself back into your present moment because your mind's wandering,
Hmm.
or you can feel like either any aches and pains. And the first thing that you do is you assume that those aches and pains are yours, when in actual fact, you're picking up on other people's vibration that's leaching out to your vibration in order to get some sort of sustenance and healing from your high vibrations, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
So the protection helps you to stay in your bubble, to still, shine that light into the world and give healing, but without it draining you. So you've got nothing left for yourself. So, yeah,
Yeah.
you do
I do
notice, yeah,
something
if you
very
haven't done
similar. Yeah. What I do is very similar. It's well, when I take a shower, I just envision liquid light. As the water's running over me, liquid light running through me and clearing out anything that needs to be cleared out that might have been left over from the day before. And then the intentions of, love, light, peace, harmony, all of that that moves through my body. And most of the time, especially during the week, I'm just here by myself all day. So, I don't really feel the need to put on protection when I'm here by myself all day. But
Hmm.
when I am going out other places or whatever, and this has to do with living humans and their energy as well as spirits and their energy,
that.
um, I do the similar thing. You called it a disco ball. I call it a trailer hitch because it's a word that I don't use very often. So I set it up as a trigger word. And when I'm walking out the door, I'm like, oh, trailer hitch. Boom, there it is. It's in place. It takes no effort at all after I've already said it. And I said it years ago. So, but it still works. I'm still open to experiencing other people's energies or spirits' energies, but I'm not taking them. They're not getting in and being absorbed, but I can still see them. I can still hear them. I can still, to some extent, feel them, and they're still there too. I like the conch shell idea. I had never actually. I don't think I've ever actually seen one. I'll be honest. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
So I don't have a visual for that. But I have had to put on more layers in some instances. My suggestion for, at least for Americans, if you want to try out and see if your protection, and I don't even like the word, but if you want to see if it's working, just put it on and go to Walmart, see how you feel. Because yeah, I don't know if you know what Walmart is, but it's kind of a large discount warehouse thing that's like nationwide here. So, and
Yeah, we've got a company over here in the UK that was actually partnered with the run by Walmart, a major shopping
yeah.
place in the UK. Yeah, so I do
So
understand.
you're familiar with that. I wasn't sure because I hadn't been there yet, but yeah, it's I tell people if you want to test it, go walk through a Walmart. See how you feel when you walk out. Because I know that if I don't do that and I go to any shopping place, especially like a shopping mall, which almost doesn't even seem to be a thing anymore, but if I walked in one end, I would be crawling out the other end if I didn't have some kind of protection on, if I didn't have some kind of a way to repel other people's stuff. And airports, which I'll be
Oh
doing a
God.
lot of next month, right? So, I mean, I my brain is already in April, even though I know it's March 31st. But there's so much chaos in that energy because you have happy people, you have frustrated business people, you have people who are angry because their luggage got lost. You have people working there who are like, So I definitely put on protection when I go to something like that. But again, when I'm home by myself, I don't really feel the need to do that. I just have the energy set in my home. But yeah, I agree with everything you said except for that thing. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna have to look that up.
It
A
sounds fascinating.
concrete,
Have you?
basically, it's just it holds the seed of the tree
Okay,
inside there, and it just stops it from breaking when it
when it falls.
falls
Yeah.
off the tree onto the floor. Yeah.
So
Okay.
do you guys use any essential oils, frankincense or eucalyptus or any of that for protection?
Not so much for protection. Um, I use it for health reasons.
Hmm. What about you,
For
Glenn?
me,
Do you?
for me, I don't use the oils, but I use the what do they call them? The incense sticks and
Oh,
the
Yes.
yeah.
smells. And I find that when I'm not working, it chills me right down. It allows me to reset the brain, the vibrations, the emotions. And so I use it for that reason. I use, is it white sage as well, if I've
Mhm.
got to cleanse a property or do a house cleanse in my own property to heighten the vibrations,
Hmm.
along with
Mhm.
shamanic drumming. Um, but other than that, perhaps I'd use it in a house cleanse, but other than that, I wouldn't use it for protection as such.
Yeah,
Do
same,
you
same.
have any
And I'm sorry.
any s- do you have any special incense that you like? What smell other than sage? Do you have a special incense you love?
Well, you hit the nail on the head with frankincense. I absolutely adore that smell, and it's like
Yeah.
I've got a really liking that, and the other one is creosote. It's
Oh yeah.
not an incense, but
Sure.
they use it to paint fences to protect wood. Ever since a
Okay.
child, I was like, because it's got tar in it. I just love addicted to that smell. Love it.
That's
Okay.
it's very permeable. They use it a lot on the train trestles, right?
Hmm.
Creosote.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, to preserve the wood. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes. It has a significant, a very obvious smell. Once you smell it, you don't forget about that.
Right.
That's it. I love
Right.
that. I don't even know if you can buy the stuff,
I
but
was
I
gonna
remember it.
say, where do you get that? I didn't
I
I
think
was
that.
remember
like,
it from
wait,
being
I've
a
never
child.
seen that on a essential oils website.
No, you can't get it from there. It's just my own warped
And you go to the
sense of self.
do you go to the railroad trestle and start scraping it off the wood or something and put it in your little
Yeah,
glass
so
thing?
anybody going near the railroad and they see a bald-headed chap there with his nose to the ground, guilty as charged, Your Honor.
That's just Glenn. He's
That's
scraping
so
off
I'm
the
Glenn.
relaxed.
creosote.
I'm so relaxed. Just chilling by this train that's nearly hitting me.
There you go. I was going to say for at night, you asked about at night, and I don't feel the need to protect myself at night, but sometimes I have trouble sleeping. So I listen to different frequencies on my phone where I'll set it to like different frequencies. I like the solfeggio frequencies. I don't know
Oh
if you're
yes.
familiar with that. Yeah, there's one that plays all nine of them over like an 8 or 10 hour period.
Mm,
And I will play that on very low volume. And sometimes I can't even hear it, but my body feels the frequencies and then I'm able to relax in and get a decent night's sleep.
mm.
So I do that. And I'm sure frequency is something Glenn knows all about being a musician, you know. The
Yeah, I'm surprised you're not like floating out of your bed and you're up at the ceiling with those frequencies.
I don't know. It's it kind of grounds me actually because I think I spend so much time
Okay.
out of my body in the work that I do that it just kind
Yeah,
of grounds me in. Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
I use
Uh,
438 a lot.
yeah,
That's supposed
that's a
to be
438.
nice
the
one.
yeah.
Interesting. I tried to use just that one and I woke up exhausted and really grumpy. Yeah,
Oh.
I don't know. I tried to use 639 last night, the Nikola Tesla frequency, and it just agitated me. I mean, it would be fine if I was awake because it made me very alert, but I was trying to go to sleep, so it agitated me.
So
This is
you
going to
won't
sound rather bizarre. Sorry,
Yeah,
Bobby.
no.
good.
Um, but what chills me out is this is going to sound mad. Death metal, the heaviest of rock music. I can put that on and it can be loud and annoying to most other people, but for me, I'm like, it feels like home. It feels comforting, and it helps to reset my vibes. And
Well,
some of the singers are there growling
yeah.
and I just it chills me out.
Was that the kind of band you were in? Wasn't that the kind of music that you played back in the day?
No, no, I wasn't. I was more sort of classic rock and middle of the road type rock music.
Oh,
But yeah,
Chris, I
that
thought you
that
were a
sort of
metalhead.
music, the screaming.
Mm,
I do. I love all of that, definitely. But yeah, I haven't really played in bands that do that.
mm.
Yeah, that screamo stuff,
I
I
can't
don't
do
think
it.
I could. It irritates me. It irritates me more when my neighbors are listening to
Uh,
it.
that really makes
I'd be
me
fast
angry.
asleep.
Yeah. Wow. Well, hey, whatever works, right?
Right. So how are we on time, Christina?
I think we are pretty good. We have about 5 more minutes.
Cool.
Yeah.
E Either of you want to give out any information as to where you're going to be, what you're going to be doing, or some exciting news for the people?
And we're
No?
both sitting there going, huh, oh no.
Oh,
At the
oh, I'll try and remember. Yeah, okay. Thank
yeah,
you.
I think let me just look at my calendar, but I think at the end of this month I'm going to be in Brainerd, Minnesota for a couple days. Or the end of April.
And
Yeah.
Glenn, you
Yeah.
know, I have to tell you, I really enjoy your Monday morning reading for the week, the energy reading. Are you
Yeah.
still doing
Do,
I
that?
do too.
yeah, yeah. I've done that every week now for 5 years. And it's something that was encouraged by spirit. And again, I trust what they tell me. I listen. And I was very anxious to start that up because it was something totally out of my comfort zone.
Hmm.
I'm a drummer. I sit at the back on the stage. I don't like the attention. And so to be thrust into that sort of, attention,
Hmm.
it felt really uncomfortable for me. But I trusted. And each week I continue to do that. And so I'm really grateful for that. And I'll
And that
continue doing it as long as Spirit intends.
Yeah.
that's all
And
channeled. You don't study up, you don't look at anything. It's all channeled.
Now, basically, what I do before starting that recording session is I go into meditation. I ask with intention for information to come forward to channel through me for that particular week. And once I press record, I prepare the cards, I shuffle the deck and clear and
Mm,
cleanse the
mm,
cards.
yeah.
But once I press record, that's it. My eyes are like, I don't know what I'm going to say, but I know that it's rolling, it's recording, and I just take a big deep breath in, and I just go blah 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 blah, and it all seems to come out and work. And I have no set agenda what I'm going to say or what's going to come through. I've no idea,
I have found it to
and
be
so
very
it amazes
accurate.
me when I watch it back.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
thank
I have
you.
found
I
it every week to be accurate.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you so
Yeah.
much. And it's a testament to the team because I'm just like a puppet in that stage of the proceedings. I'm just, okay, right, we're rolling. What do you want me to say?
But
It's left.
there is a lot of, I don't even know what to call it, but like you said, a puppet. You have
Mhm.
to have a lot of trust to be the puppet.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's like
Dedication.
when we're trance channeling, we have to have a lot of trust that whoever's working with our body is first of all going to share the information that's needed, and second of all, going to take care of us while they're doing it. It takes
Definitely.
Yeah.
trust to put ourselves in those situations. So, and I know I answer very much like you did. I don't know. I just get out of the way and it comes through. And it sounds like it's so easy, but it isn't necessarily that easy because we have to trust that we're going to be taken care of and that the people who are getting the messages are going to be taken care of.
Yeah, yeah, that's quite true. And I do ask it with intention before doing the recording there.
Hmm.
But you're quite right. It's a discipline, isn't it? It's not just something that we do every other day. It's a lifestyle. So
Hmm.
what a lot of people don't realize that watchers work that behind the scenes, we're going without certain pleasures and things that people
Yeah.
normally take for granted. We have consciously chosen that would have an impact on the work that we do to serve people. So
Hmm.
we have eradicated those
Mm,
things out of our life. And also, the way that we interact with people. I'm sure you'll agree, Christina, we can only talk for so long before we're starting to pick up on that person's vibration. And some of those things aren't nice. So we have to
Right.
cut that conversation short, and move out there. So
Right.
we make a lot of these sacrifices
We
that
do.
a lot of people don't
Even if we're
see.
not
Yeah.
getting details, just picking up on someone else's energy can be overwhelming, where we
Mm.
have to go, I'm
Oh,
sorry, I have to go now. Yeah.
yeah.
So, Mr. Glenn, do you have any messages
Definitely.
today?
Mr. Glenn. I love it.
I know, right?
Messages today.
Tomorrow's April
Messages
Fool's Day.
today.
I
Let
mean,
me
we're
ask
we're
my guide.
messaging. Yeah. I was going to say we're filming on March 31st, so tomorrow's April Fool's Day.
Okay. Let me ask my guides then. Messages. What do you want people to know at the time? Show love to thyself and honor thyself at all times. Do not listen to false prophets. Trust thy heart. Thy heart is true and strong and will always deliver positive and loving information for you. Step outside of the contradictions of the mind and trust your sacred heart. Moving forward throughout this year, you are going to be tested to the point where you're going to face confusion of feelings are going to be overwhelmed, thoughts are going to be overwhelmed, and you've got to make that conscious choice on which side of the fence that you're going to place your time and attention. Obviously, the choice is always yours. So choose wisely and know that we have your back and we're always there to catch you when you fall. So
Wow.
that's my guides.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
So
you, Tim.
so to get more of the wisdom of Glenn's team, how do they get a hold of you? How do people get a hold of you?
Oh, thank you. And so people can head over to my website, www.glenboddicespiritualmedium.com. You can also find me on all of the social media platforms. Just type in Glen Body Spiritual Medium and you'll find me. As Christina mentioned earlier, I am on TikTok as well, and I post daily inspired wisdom, and every day is different what comes forward. And also, you can listen into the radio show that goes out every Monday, and that's on all of the social media platforms again, and also all of the episodes are on my website. And that radio show is called From Beyond with Glen Boddice, but it does feature our very beloved Christina Bloom once a month, where we shoot the breeze and we talk about various topics that come to thought. So yeah, come and join us over there if you're interested. And also, if you want to book in with any of my services or anything like that, the way that you can do that, head over to my website, www.glenbodyspiritualmedium.com, and you can schedule and book in with me directly there. So thank you.
You're welcome. And is that where people can also order your books and your music?
Oh, you're good. Thank you. I forgot that. Yes,
I
they
always
can.
forget it too. That's why I remembered.
Thank you. Yes, I have two books available currently. One is called Awaken in the Light, and this is completely channeled by spirit. And this is about doing the inner work with yourself, cleaning house, so to speak, and also creating your own version of heaven in your present moment consciousness. And the second book is called Inspired Truths. And this is 50-50, 50% channeled from spirit, 50% of my own life experiences. And each chapter in the book is basically designed to help you navigate your way through all of these trials and tribulations that we all happen to go through. And it's to help you, rather than struggling, to go with trust, to listen to your intuition, rather than struggling all the time. So that is the second book, and of course the new album is called Hypnotic Drum Healing, and this is a combination of shamanic drumming and tribal drumming, and it's sound healing. And basically the tracks on the album are almost like a healing session in themselves. They're about 16 to 20 minutes in length, and a lot of my clients and students found this very therapeutic, very healing. And in fact, some of them use them as a form of meditation to prepare them to work with their spiritual gifts and their guides as well. So if you're inclined in that way, it will enhance your experience in opening up there. So thank you for reminding me of that, Christina. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
And there is another one that you have too that sounds kind of like Gregorian chanting. And I know I have it on my phone, but I don't know how to look it up quickly. So the one that you sent
Oh
me,
yeah, sorry, that album's called Chants Amore,
that's
basically,
it.
and
Thank
that was
you.
recorded many years ago, completely channeled from spirit,
Yeah.
all
And
descants, harmonies.
it transforms my reality every time I listen to it. So thank you.
Wow,
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you. Yeah.
it all sounds fascinating.
Yeah, all the stuff you don't know about Glenn until you start
I
asking questions.
Welcome to my world.
Yes.
Come in.
He's a reluctant superstar, but he's still a superstar. So,
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
and this has been a really fun discussion. I want to thank you so much for coming on and visiting with us again. And I know Bobby is like, she's just chomping at the bit. I have questions. So,
I do, I do, I do.
so it's,
Darn it.
It's been so much fun with you today, Glenn, and thank you so much for coming
yeah,
back. I'm honored to have you again, and thank you for the spontaneous reading, and I'm just so glad that you came. Thank you
yeah.
so much.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank
thank you,
you
Bobby.
so much.
Thank you, Christina.
And for all of our listeners
Appreciate you both.
and our audience, remember we got a few things we need you to do every week. If you haven't already done it, subscribe so you can follow
Subscribe.
us and hit the notification bell and tell all your friends about it because we have some pretty great shows here. So I'd love more people to get to see
Fabulous.
them. Yeah.
Thank you all for coming today.
Thanks,
Take,
everyone.
take care.
Bye bye.